Alright everyone, Doug Lane here, Fast Lane Car Care. Since the last time you saw this this hood, what I did on the last video was polish this section. Tested some things with that. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and check that out. And basically what I ended up doing was using a different compound, a more aggressive compound, so we can get more defects out on both sides, the entire hood. I didn't go past these character lines. It's not really important for what we're going to do. But I wanted a nice, consistent, even, smooth surface on both sides. So after I did that with a heavier compound than in the previous video, I came back through with the finishing polish and gave it a nice shine. It's looking pretty good as far as a beat up hood can be. You'll notice on the masking tape, we're going to put 4 different waxes or sealants, whatever you want to call them. Some of them are hybrids, whatever. We're going to put them on here. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of each, what I like, what I don't like. I've done a very similar video to this in the past, but we're going to add a couple more things to it. So what we're going to do, we're going to let this cure overnight when we get finished. Then we're going to go outside tomorrow with the water hose, go to town, see if any of them break down off the bat, see how each of them react to water, as in how hydrophobic they are. Then we'll get out the dish soap solution that everybody wants to do on YouTube, and that's going to act as a chemical. It's basically going to basically reproduce harsh elements, environmental elements, to speed up the process. Like some of these sealants and waxes are good for like 6 months in normal use. I don't really want to leave this thing outside for 6 months and then come back. I do want to do that, but not right now for this video. So what we're going to do, first up in this bottle is Garry Dean's Infinite Use Detail Juice. Now, I use this as my wristless wash solution. I love it. I have loved it for years. I don't have the juice boost part of it in this bottle. So basically we should see less durability than if we had both. But this is, I mean, honestly, so ridiculously easy to use that, like, that's really plenty. And, you're pretty much just wiping it on, wiping it off. Like I said, that's more than plenty. I would definitely use too much. But what I love about this is there's no streaks. You don't have to worry about streaks. If you do, get some streaks because it's a hot day or it dries too fast or whatever, it's not like some waxes or sealants where it's a major pain to take off. You just come back with a different section of the towel, or perhaps a dry towel, whatever, and be done. So now what we're going to do, since I got a little bit over there, just put that towel there, hit it with the Windex. That's going to break down anything. That's another thing I want to mention too. After I compounded and polished all of this hood, I also wiped it all back down with Windex so there's no polish residue or anything like that left behind. Make sense? Perfect. Great. Okay. So we've got the Garry Dean's Infinite Use Detail Juice on there. Super simple to use. Now, let's go with the Seal and Shine. And this is a product, Turle Wax. I never thought I'd ever use a Turle Wax product professionally, but it's super simple, super easy to use, and I love it. So, directions: shake the bottle well, wash car before applying, spray concentrated formula lightly onto the car, 1 panel at a time, firmly wipe with a clean microfiber towel. So it's really important to note that. I hope there's enough in here, honestly. Oh yes, perfect. Come on, yeah. That's probably plenty. But here's the weird thing about it. This really threw me off. Like, it gets kind of tacky. Like, when you work this in, you can feel it kind of stick. But look, it doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees out or 30 degrees out. It just simply works, and it's just that easy. You just wipe it on, wipe it off. you can tell, I mean, on a black car especially, you can see when it streaks, a product will streak in 2-3 passes when you use a light mist, and it works. So one of the characteristics about this is that it claims to bead water immediately. And why is water beading important? Well, essentially when you're driving in the rain, everybody knows, you drive through a rainstorm or whatever, and you pull into the garage, and your car dries off, and you've got all this dirt stuck on the side of your vehicle because, in the water, there are dirt particles. Once the water's gone, dirt, stays left behind. So if we can fill in the pores of the paint, and we can increase the surface tension in a way that water no longer sticks to it, it's going to keep your car cleaner longer. That's why water beading is important no matter what. So next, let's use the Meguiars Cleaner Wax. Old school here. Cleans, polishes, and protects in one easy step with a high gloss shine. You guys know that I'm not really a big fan of paste waxes. They are nice. They are nice if you have like a show car or something that you want to, you really take pride in doing. A lot of carnauba waxes can give your car very unique shine and depth and stuff that maybe some other color or other products can't. However, the time that they take to use and the limited durability, they just don't make sense for a daily driver. Honestly, we probably should have done this one first. So what we're trying to do is just get a clean, thin, even coat, just spread evenly across here. Make sure nothing's left out. Sure, probably everybody has their own method, but essentially, as long as that's all covered, we're all good. So that's your old school Meguiars Cleaner Wax. Really could be insert any kind of paste wax, whatever. You're going to see that the technology nowadays is so far beyond this. I mean, you saw how long it took, considerably longer than the other two products we've used so far. And now I'm going to show you the third one. This is going to be Professional Detailing Products SW89 Body Gloss. I just call it Body Gloss. Let's read a little bit about it. It's a state-of-the-art spray wax. It's a high solid spray wax, which I'm not really sure what that means. It's one of those examples of companies just kind of like putting stuff in to confuse you. That happens a lot in both the product and the detailers themselves in that industry. But it's going to leave a shine with depth and clarity and high gloss and durability like no other spray wax on the market today. Easily removes dust, smudges, fingerprints from any exterior surface, cleans glass, paint, chrome, aluminum, plastic, protects in one easy step, all that good stuff, right? So it can also be used wet, which is really nice. And it says deep, glossy, slick finish that lasts through several rainstorms. Okay, so several different ways to apply it. You can wash the car, rinse the car if you're using a traditional wash method, and then spray this on and then dry it as you normally would. I really like that method because one, this is going to act as a lubricant so you're not getting as much of the micro abrasions on it from when you're drying it. Or you can use it like I'm about to, spray on, wipe off. Or third, you can spray it on a towel and then wipe it off. So that's way plenty, probably too much, and so I'm sure you guys have probably, if you guys are like do-it-yourselfers and you're into the car care kind of thing, I'm sure that you've seen products marketed that they don't streak. And it's really frustrating to me because I've been through that. I've had products that, they claim, oh, they're streak free, et cetera, and then when you get them, they streak like no other, especially on black or red paint or deep blues. Sometimes that's operator error, user error, whatever. The biggest thing is that will cause streaks, and it goes for windows too when you're cleaning windows, or spray waxes, sealants, etc. If you use too much product, you're leaving too much behind, and that's where your streak comes in. So, if I would have had some streaking issues on this, I would have just kept working it back and forth, maybe flip to a dry side, go back and forth again. So, what we have to do, like I said, I should have done this one first. I've got to wait probably another 10 minutes for this to fully cure, and then I'll buff off the excess. I'm sure you guys don't need an explanation on that. We're just going to wipe off the residue with a towel, and that'll be that, right? So, thanks guys for watching this far. I'm going to cut it now, add in the rest later. But like I said, stick around, because we're going to take these outside tomorrow and hose them down, see what happens, use some dish soap, and we should have fun. Alright everyone, Doug Lane here, Fast Lane Car Care. As you can see, we've got our test panel out here. It's the next day. These have had almost 24 hours to cure, so it should be a very even, level playing field. Like I said earlier, some waxes, sealants, they need 12 hours, moisture free in order to fully cure. Some 6, some 24, just depends. So at 20 hours roughly, we're going to test the hydrophobicness of each one of these products. We've got Turle Wax Seal and Shine. We've got Garry Dean's Infinite Use Detail Juice. We've got Meguiars Cleaner Wax, the old school paste wax. And then here we've got Professional Detailing Products out of Canton, Ohio. We've got their body gloss. We're going to get the hose, and we'll spray them down and see if anything breaks down, and then just test out the hydrophobicness if they break down. If they don't, under this much water, then we'll go ahead and get the dish soap, and we'll see what happens. So it looks like the Meguiars Cleaner Wax doesn't seem to have as much hydrophobicness as either of the other three, really. It looks like the body gloss is starting to wear off. Seal and Shine's still doing pretty well. Garry Dean's is still doing pretty well. And though it isn't as hydrophobic, it does seem that the cleaner wax is still beating up water. But notice how there's really no water puddled up on here. It's all shed off. And, this side's holding a little bit more. Now, I would say, well, maybe it's just slightly off level. Maybe this side's downhill, so it's running off there further. But there's no moisture pooling up on the body gloss side either. So, what does that tell you? Well, draw your own conclusions. Like I said earlier, it's important for a panel to, or a product that you put on your panel, your car, to shed that water, because if this were dirty water, there would be little bits of dust and dirt, which means your car would get dirtier faster if you're using this product. Notice how most of the water is gone from all the other sides. You're going to have a less dirty vehicle. So let's just go one more time. This is my window tint slip solution. It's basically, you can see the suds. It's just water and dish soap. Essentially what this is going to do, we'll just let it sit for a second. This is going to basically represent multiple car washes. You know, it's got degreasers and whatnot in it, in dish soap. So it's really not the best thing to wash your car with. Because it is such a strong cleaner, you have to dilute it down a lot. So let's just pretend that we're washing our car. Now let's just see what happens. So now we see the infinite use detail juice and the body gloss is sheeting more. It's not beating up. The cleaner wax is actually surprisingly, it's still beating. I mean, it's not getting rid of the water. The water's not just falling off of it as well, but it's not laying in the pores of the paint, much like how we can see with the Garry Deans and the PDP body gloss up here. But what I really want to point out is this right here. Now, I never thought I would use a Turle Wax product in my professional detailing tools, my arsenal, but this is actually something I picked up recently. I've heard a lot about it, and this is the first real true torture test, but I've heard a lot of good things about this, and here's the cool thing. The infinite use detail juice, you're going to have to order that online. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I do love it, and like I said earlier in the video, this is missing the juice boost component of it, but those two bottles combined are going to run you about $75. Now, you're going to get a ton of use out of that. So, I mean, for the average person, it's going to last you for years if you're washing your vehicle frequently. But you have to order it online, okay? The PDP body gloss, okay, yeah, you can get it in person if you want to drive to Canton, so you're going to be looking about 3-4 hours round trip, depending on where you're at. Yeah, it's not really that expensive per gallon, but you either have to, one, order it online and wait, or two, you've got to go drive and get it. But this Turle Wax, you can pick this up anywhere. You can pick this up at AutoZone, O'Reilly's, whatever, and it's very, very reasonably priced for what you're getting. Even after the dish soap, it's still beating water. It's still getting rid of the water much more effectively than the other spray waxes here. And I think that that's really important to note. So this is kind of interesting because this was a cleaner wax. This is a paste wax. This is something that, we put on there and we had to wait for it to cure, haze up and then buff off. And I think I waited about an hour actually because I stopped recording and then I got busy. So about an hour. So you would expect this to last a little bit longer than a spray wax. But that's the point I wanted to point out. The technology has come so far that products like the Turle Wax Ice Seal and Shine is still beating water. It's super easy to use. You can use this to help dry your vehicle. You can use it during your weekly maintenance washes or every other week or whatever. You're getting a really great result with not a lot of money, and it's very user friendly. The PDP is good. It looks good. It works, but it is a little finicky, especially on black cars. You got to really be careful about using too much, or you get a lot of streaks, which it's not the end of the world. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can still get around it, but it's just extra time. If you have to keep, messing around, getting rid of the streaks, it's just more time. The infinite use detail juice, probably it's the most versatile. You could use this as a clay lubricant. You can use it for all sorts of different things, water softeners, yeah, all kinds of things. Rinseless wash, waterless wash, blah, 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 on and on and on. So it's really versatile. I'm not going to be replacing it, but I am not going to lie to you. I do keep turtle wax in the truck. So one of the problems with the traditional wax like this is, which we're not going to be able to replicate it, I don't think, here, but the intense heat from the summer sun will burn it off very quickly. We're talking 179 degrees, I believe, is the melting point, the burn-off point. So if this were in direct sun and it were 70, 80 degrees, leave it sit for a couple hours, it could burn off really quick. What I think that we'll do, we got a nice sunny day, not windy. I think we should leave this outside. We should leave this outside to bake in this direct sunlight for the next couple hours. And, you know, maybe we'll even do like a long-term test. Maybe we'll leave it out for 3 or 4 days and then come back and see how hydrophobic each of these are. And that'll be a really good indication of the longevity of what to expect, since, like I said, we've basically just replicated a week's worth of environmentals in the dish soap and all that. So thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you, and stick around. We're going to do some more tests with this stuff. We're going to do more wax comparisons, and yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you later.